Hello every pony, Scar89 here, once again with another fanfiction reading. It has been a long time since I've actually done like a reading like this, which is unedited and stuff, because I only have so much time to myself. And it takes time to do readings with recording and stuff, because I have to keep going back, I have to keep stopping and going whatever. You get it. I'm sure you get it. So anyway, I'm gonna be doing just a small little chapter. Well, not one chapter stories. These are multiple chapter stories. Multiple chapter story for now. Unedited and whatnot. Just because I can, and because it's a parody, and I only do parodies as this because I care to not listen to them again and try to figure out what's right and wrong. I don't know. Anyway, so today I'm going to be reading Magikarp is the best Pokemon, which is true. Chapter 1. Oh wait, who's it by? Okay, I don't know. I guess I could care less. Anyway, Chapter 1, truly the best around! Exclamation point. Magikarps for sale, fresh Magikarps right from the river and ready for buy-in! The Magikarp salesman yelled from his poorly built stand, numerous Magikarp flopping around him. But try as he must, not one customer would stop by to inspect or purchase one of the useless Pokemon, which they pretty much are, even though they turn into like one of the most powerful Pokemon you could have in the first games. Anyway, noticing a businessman passing by who potentially had loads of cash, the Magikarp salesman grabbed one of his stock and went in the path of the businessman. "Excuse me, sir, but you simply must buy one of these Magikarps. When they lay eggs and produce more Magikarp offspring, you can sell them for a profit," he explained, shoving in the businessman's face one of a floundering Magikarps. Sir, the businessman said, "I'm here with my children. Please get that sushi out of my face." He stepped out of the way, revealing the children behind him, each with a Dragonite stuffed figurine. Their eyes frightened by the evil seen in the eyes of this Magikarp salesman. The enthusiasm he showed in selling his product toward the people was outstanding. "But your kids can also buy some Magikarp. I have a buy two get one free deal going on," the salesman explained, pointing to the numerous Magikarp he had behind his stand. "Really, I'm practically giving them away. Buy them now before I'm out of stock. As if I would like to purchase such a delicate creature like that. Besides, we're strictly a dragon-type only family." He pushed the salesman out of the way, his children following close behind, hugging their Dragonite toys for dear life. "Racist! Water types are so cool!" the salesman shouted at the quickly retreating family. This needs a lot of revising, by the way. Now he stared dejectedly at the Magikarp floundering in his hand. "What am I going to do now? I have no more money, and I wasted all my time catching you useless fish. What am I supposed to do?" he asked the Pokemon, as if it could answer his question. Magikarp looked at his captor, staring deeply into his soul. The guilt was overrunning his mind, breaking his mentality down. Magikarp, it said with a dry voice. "Wait," the salesman yelled at the almost gone family down the street. "What if my Magikarp beats your Dragonite? I'll give you 5 for free if you win. If I win, you have to buy 5 of them. Deal?" The businessman walked back, a Pokeball readied in his hand. "You're so stupid. Mister, you got yourself a deal." "Excellent! Magikarp, I choose you!" he yelled, throwing his Magikarp for battle. The water-type Pokemon landed in between the pair and continued to flounder like a fish out of water, which it technically was. "Go, Mr. Puffins!" The businessman threw out his Master Ball. His Dragonite surrounded itself in a fiery aura, the ground's life being sucked in by its lovely armor. The splendid Dragon-type Pokemon was not a force to be reckoned with. His level at 100 and his stats through the roof due to EV training, the most pretentious form of wasting your time battling Pokemon. Magikarp, use Splash! The salesman shouted, his Magikarp using his power, slamming his water power into the fire lizard. It was ineffective. The Dragonite merely frowned in annoyance at getting wet. Mr. Puffins, use Hyper Beam! A ball of light began to form in Dragonite's mouth, getting larger and more bright until he released an almighty beam of pure 150 damage. The beam glared highly, a light that could be seen from the next town over. It burned those around it with its godlike force, and with a 90% accuracy, it hit Magikarp with the force of a nuclear projectile. As for the poor water-type Pokemon, Magikarp was blasted clear into the sky, disappearing into the great blue yonder in a twinkle of light resembling a star. A certain pair of dastardly villains would certainly be proud. The salesman sighed with grief. There goes his profit for the day. Is that all you got? The businessman gloated, his Dragonite smirking as well. Well, it seemed the salesman pretty much lost the battle on the grounds of his Pokemon being blasted off into oblivion. No, you win, the salesman groaned. It was a pretty stupid idea to use Magikarp in a battle against a Dragonite. Actually, it was a downright idiotic move made in the heat of the moment. Yippee! The businessman jumped in joy. He had finally accomplished his lifelong dream of winning 5 Magikarps with his overpowered Dragonite. It was such a challenge that even his children hugged their Dragonite plushies, filling their cold hearts with love and happiness. But when the businessman ended his jump, he was shocked to discover the shack had a close sign on it. All the Magikarp and the salesman mysteriously have disappeared. No! No! The businessman fell to his knees, grabbing his hair and trying to rip it out as if it would solve anything. Never mind, it's too stupid. That was just too stupid, and there's still more.
Space, the final frontier.
Or to Magikarp, now orbiting the upper atmosphere, its final resting place. But wait, this isn't the end, because a story ending right here and now would be pretty boring. It was slowly descending back to Earth, a trail of hot fire following behind it. The air particles around it were sent aflame as it picked up speed, rocketing closer and closer back to Earth. But luckily for it, being a water type, the re-entry back to Earth was ineffective. It just stood still as the G-forces got stronger and stronger, and the occasional carp sound leaving its lips as the ground soon got closer and closer. If a Magikarp falls from the atmosphere at over 1,000 miles per hour, and there was no one around to hear it, will it make a sound? Well, this Magikarp was lucky enough for some ponies to hear him, and luckily for Magikarp, crashing to the ground, since it was a ground-based attack, was ineffective as well. That's one damn lucky Pokemon. Hey, Twilight, is it normal for comets to appear during the day? Spike asked the unicorn, squinting to get a better look at the trailing fireball that mysteriously appeared in the great blue sky. Why, of course they are, Spike, Twilight began. It's much less common during the day, but that's only because of the light effect from the heat and the sun conflicting. Why do you ask? Come take a look over here, Twilight. She directed herself toward the very window that Spike began his question from. Right before their eyes, the comet approached closer to the ground, the sky lighting up from the fire surrounding it. Twilight, is it normal for comets to crash land near town? Spike asked, pointing to the fast-approaching fireball. Not usually, no. I don't recall many comets coming close to Ponyville. Not even in a book about such catastrophes happening. Twilight rubbed her chin in thought, her mind perplexed at such a strange occurrence. Well, looks like it won't exactly hit Ponyville, Spike said, noticing how the comet's path wasn't directed right at the town. More like it will hit. A loud bang could be heard by all, followed by a shockwave of force that crashed the that cracked the earth and caused many a window pane to explode in a shower of grass. "The Everfree Forest," Spike moaned, now against the wall, having been knocked backwards from the comet's force of impact. The story is ridiculous and pretty funny and good. Anyway, all around town, ponies have been knocked aside from the shockwave, with much damage evident in everywhere the eye could see. Broken windows, furniture strewn on the ground, and food scattered haphazardly on the floor and its previous eaters alike. Spike got up from his fallen position. "Twilight?" But he was too late, for Twilight had already gotten herself out of the door and into the streets of Ponyville. "Twilight, don't go near random crash landings!" Spike shouted at the doorstep of the library at the retreating unicorn, but she didn't listen. Spike sighed and shook his head sadly, running after her while muttering under his breath, "Every week something like this happens. Is it too much to ask for a normal day in this crazy town?" Of course, no pony was around to answer his question. Not like any pony really did have an answer to it. Let's see. Twilight ran toward the crash site, sweat forming on her brow from the superb exercise that she had done just then, competing itself with the lack of activity due to the librarian's habit of staying cooped in all day. Her legs ached, but she pressed onward, and onward she prevailed. She dodged past confused and startled ponies, jumped over wreckage due to the comet's crash, all with Spike struggling to follow behind her. Why she didn't just teleport there, no pony knew. Eventually, she ran past the edge of the town, approaching near Fluttershy's cottage, which was near the crash site. She found the location of the comet's landing near the edge of the Everfree Forest, with trees destroyed everywhere near the area. Many were burned or had all their bark stripped from the trunks because of the sheer amount of heat that comet created when it landed. She kept toward the center of where it seemed to have been created from, and there she found what she was looking for. A crater. In depth seemed to be enormous as she stopped in her path in case she accidentally fell. Smoke poured out from the middle, but still she could get a good look at what was at the bottom, the source of the crash. "What the buck is that?" she asked herself, at loss for words to try and figure out what exactly the comet was. Spike finally caught up to her, huffing and puffing in exhaustion due to his short legs having to do twice the work of Twilight to run after her. "What do you mean?" he panted, wiping off a good amount of sweat from his forehead. "It looks like a fish," she answered, pointing to the center of the crater. "But how can a fish create such a huge crash, and more importantly, how did it crash here in the first place?" Spike stared deep into the crater, and was just as surprised as Twilight when he spotted what did indeed seem to be a type of red fish with white dorsal fins and yellow whiskers at the very bottom. "I think the better question would be how it's still alive," Spike spoke up, noticing how the fish still moved down there. Floundering around, a noise could be heard from the red fish. It sounded almost like "Garp" for some reason. "Can we keep it, Twilight? Can we? Spike begged, his voice sounding that of a filly or colt. So it'd be more like, "Can we keep it, Twilight? Can we? Spike begging, his voice sounding that of a filly or a colt. Blah, blah. "Spike, that potentially dangerous creature, Spike, that's potentially dangerous creature that somehow survived a crash from outer space," Twilight explained to her assistant. "Of course we can. What kind of pony would I be if I didn't let my assistant have a pet? Plus, this gives me a chance to study it." Spike squealed in delight and raced down the crater, eventually reaching the bottom and picking up the mysterious red fish. Groaning from the heavy weight, he returned to Twilight and flung the fish onto the ground, scratching his head as the fish just flailed on the ground. He said, "How exactly can it still breathe on land?" "Magic! It would definitely explain how it survived that crash," Twilight answered, leaving so many questions in Spike's head. Twilight approached the creature closer, eager to study and inspect this anomaly more. "Well, okay then. What shall we name it?" Spike asked, poking the fish with an ashen stick. "Magicarp, Magicarp," the strange fish said, that word evidently the only one it could say. It could say. Like I said, this story needs revising. It repeated it several other times, hopping up and down on the ground. Let's name it Paul," Spike shot out. A little part of Magikarp's soul died just then. "You sure?" Twilight asked, rubbing her chin in puzzlement. It seems like a pretty strange name. If Magikarp could speak, it'd agree with her. You don't like it? Spiked asked, giving her a puppy dog-like look. Well, the disappointment in his creativity was clear through her nagging tone of voice. It's not bad, it's just not fitting for a fish. I know, Spike yelled with glee. How about Magicarp? Since he says Magicarp. Brilliant, the purple mare exclaimed, rubbing the head of her dragon companion, his scales leaving an odd feeling on her hoof. Magicarp, Magicarp, Carp, Magicarp. Magicarp said loudly, its prayers heard by the great Pokemon in the sky. Arceus. Really? So, if it's a boy or a girl? Spike asked, poking Magicarp again with a stick. The fish-like creature ignored it as it just went on floundering. There's only one way to find out, Twilight started. She picked up the creature, moving her hoof down to its tail. There's nothing there, she said, shocked, tugging at one of Magikarp's whiskers. Spike said, how about we just say it's a boy and not question further? But Spike, Twilight whined, it's just going to pester me until we know for sure. What about it surviving in space and crash landing to the ground and it still being able to live through that? Spike asked, cocking an eyebrow at her. Shouldn't that pester you more than trying to figure out what gender it is? Twilight's eyes twitched. It flickered in a creepy fashion, as if something inside her broke. Perhaps a demon from her childhood being released from the thought of that very question. Whatever it was that caused her to twitch, she kept it buried inside of her. Someone's about to come in, I'm pretty sure, dooming it to never be revealed. Not really, she answered. Sweet, Spike replied, hefting Magikarp over his shoulder and running off. Now let's go to Fluttershy's place. Maybe she can tell us what type of fish he is. Why didn't I think of that? Twilight asked herself, trotting behind her assistant. And, of course, Magikarp just spouted on about his own name. Well, at least this was better than the salesman. Sort of. And that is the end of the first chapter, which was terrible and stupid. And I'm going to continue to read it because it's actually kind of interesting how this person wrote these characters to be complete idiots and stupid. Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny. Also, I don't know if the mic is down. I don't know if the mic's down. I don't know. I'm looking at Audacity and it says the voice isn't very loud, but that's just because of the setting I have on for the mic, so you don't have any white noise in the middle of silence like now. So you probably don't hear anything, and I'm dragging this on way too long because I'm kind of bored and I want this to go to 20 minutes. Because I can. Anyway, I can have to poo. So I'm going to end it off in just a minute or so. I'm going to sign off and do another reading sometime later. Was that somebody outside? I don't know. Oh, nobody's come inside, so I guess it was just the neighbors or something. If you didn't hear the honking of a horn of somebody locking their car. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so if it's too low, then, well, I'll just amplify it, making my last statement completely stupid. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't care if you comment about how sucky you are read. Hey, you still watch the video, it counts as a view. And if you comment, then hey, that's another comment. Just makes me more popular. Idiots. Dwight Schrute. Idiot. The Dunder Code. I completely forgot about that. You know, I'm surprised. Okay, so sorry, that was from The Office. If you hadn't seen the final season of The Office, then yeah. I'm surprised no one has actually made an Office My Little Pony crossover story yet. I mean, I've looked and there's nothing. So I might have to write that, but I don't want to because I'm already in the middle of 2 stories. Janitor Shy, which you can check out later. It should be up now, 1 chapter at least, the first chapter. It's awesome. I'm not going to read it, and I'm not going to read my other story either, because that would not make it as special as I want it to. So, we're almost up to 20 minutes. I've wasted enough time now. So, thanks for watching my video. Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Party on!
This song's dedicated to my favorite Pokemon. What's yours? No, it ain't Pikachu. It ain't a Bulbasaur. It ain't a Charizard. It's about Pokemon that's a little more special. One that gets neglected, underrated. This song's for you. Magikarp. Yeah. Magikarp is my favorite fish. Smells like he came straight from a ditch. When up close, the stench is ruthless. When in battle, his skills are useless. Flops around like he got a rash attack. What kind of Pokemon only knows splash attack? When the Pokeball opens, you feel the hopelessness. Make you want to jump in the water and choke a fish. Got me all confused, what kind of joke is this? How do you lose to poker chips? So many moves I'd love to teach you. Such a dumb fish, how do I reach you? It can be tough, my training's so mean. Can I be proud you lost to Goldeen? Slower than Snorlax, call you Slowpoke. Oh Magikarp, you can't float. Magikarp, I choose you. Magikarp, I choose you. I choose you. I choose you. You splash attack. You splash attack. It's okay if you don't win today. Just use run and swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Swim away. We can be best friends like Ash and Pikachu. Go to all the cons, talk trash to Weeaboo. When we get thirsty, we can share a Coke. Think I'm gonna cry when you become Gyarados. When you were young, you had a baby seat. Now you're growing up with crazy teeth. You set me straight, I had the hots for Misty. Boy, did she stink, her crotch was icky. Gym after gym, we face defeat. Maybe we should quit and take a seat. Don't think you'll ever beat that mutt named Gary. If you a fish, why your butt is hairy? Certain things about you just don't add up. Just forget about picking any badge up. My battle days are done at a tragic halt. I don't really care, I love Magikarp. Magikarp, I choose you. Magikarp, I choose you. I choose you. I choose you. You splash attack. You splash attack. It's okay if you don't win today. Just use run and swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Swim away. Magikarp is evolving. Magikarp is evolving. Magikarp is evolving. He's now a Gyarados. Gyarados, I choose you. Gyarados, I choose you. Gyarados, I choose you. Get revenge on Goldeen. Gyarados, I choose you. Gyarados, I choose you. Gyarados, I choose you. Get revenge on Goldeen. Gyarados, use Hyper Beam. Gyarados, use Hyper Beam. Gyarados, use Hyper Beam. No, not Splash Attack. No, not Splash Attack. Why would you use Splash Attack? You're a freaking Gyarados, the biggest Pokemon in the water. Magikarp, I choose you. Magikarp, I choose you. I choose you. I choose you. You splash attack. You splash attack. It's okay if you don't win today. Just use run and swim away. Swim away. Swim away.